We're live. Okay. My name is Alyssa Prettyman. This is alyssayoga.com. This is my YouTube channel. And I wanted to briefly answer the question, what is yoga? Because I think a lot of times when we look at these big yoga chains, we think that yoga involves yoga clothes and yoga products and tight bodies and super insanely bendy bodies and an ability to do these shapes. Um, and I want you to understand that yoga is not really any of that. That is commercialism, that is marketing. Um, that's not yoga. Um, I think it was Rolf Gates that many years ago said, it was in a workshop in Boston, and he said, yoga is really this ability to align how you're being with what you're doing. And this might have been Johnny Gillespie too, who teaches the Balanced Athlete program, which is functional movement. He's also an amazing yoga Buddhism teacher. Um, but this alignment between how you're being and what you're doing is so important. And if you are an athlete, you would say the zone. You know, what gets you into the zone where you are so present with what you are doing in that moment that you are at your absolute best. Um, and I love that way of describing yoga because then when you think of physical shapes, you can do many things with your body and it can still be yoga because you are in alignment. Your mind and your body and your breathing are in alignment so that you are fully present with yourself. And that's why there are so many different types of yoga out there. That's why you can do yoga with a lot of push ups and handstands, but you can do yoga with a lot of pillows and chanting. And you can do yoga with a lot of jumping. And you can do yoga that's essentially like a long nap. um, because it's about using a series of tools that bring your breathing and your mind and your body into the same place. And there's 1,000 roads to get to this destination where you feel fully present. So if you go to a yoga class or you try an instructor online and it's not your bag, I always say to people, you got to try like 10 to 20 different instructors um, before you decide whether or not you like yoga or you get yoga or if it's your bag, because everybody's going to come to this practice and teach from their own history, right? I came to yoga because I wanted to be hot and bendy, and then I hurt my back and I couldn't walk for like a month, and my journey changed dramatically. So I would say try a bunch of different teachers because they're going to bring to you an interpretation of experience that is what they come from. And in the beginning, you're going to gravitate to people who think like you and talk like you and do things that you're comfortable with. And as you progress in your practice, many people, myself included, start to seek people that challenge the status quo, that help you grow, that help you think differently, that help you move differently, that help you get in touch with your interoception. What's your body feel like on the inside? And your proprioception. How are you managing your relationship with gravity and space? Your breathing, how you sort of hack your own emotional structure through breath regulation. All of this is part of yoga. And it is a fascinating svadhyaya. It is a fascinating self-study to watch how you are in the different shapes that you take. Because I'll tell you, when I first started practicing yoga and you put me in half pigeon, I was miserable, I was angry, I was anxious, and I blamed it on the teacher for holding the pose too long, and I blamed it on the pose. Turns out, through a lot of study, I realized I was just angry and I was just anxious. And the pose was just an opportunity to sit still long enough for that stuff that was already there to come out and play. And when it came out and played, then I could work with it. So sometimes when we use these shapes as tools to reveal the information that's already there, and then we apply our disciplined focus and our disciplined breathing, and we don't try to shove it back down and we don't try to pretend like it's all okay. We work with what comes up. That's where yoga is super gosh darn powerful. And that's where, if you're not into vinyasa, who cares? Go do restorative, go do yin, go explore people who make you feel good and who speak your language and who have your vibe if you're new to the practice. Chair yoga, amazing. I love teaching chair yoga. Um, but don't think that it's all about turning yourself into a pretzel and the things that you see on Instagram and like the glorified yoga porn shapes. And they're fine when they're empowering and when they're fun, but when they make you feel like lesser than, it does a disservice to what yoga has to offer you, because yoga is here for everybody, in every condition that it's in. Yoga has something to offer you. Um, and where it looks exclusive, I would say that that's not really high quality yoga. That's just ego. So that's a quick primer on what yoga is in its idea and its construct. And I hope that as you explore your practice, it feels richer than just trying to achieve a shape. Um, I'll leave you with one sort of closing idea. You are not your body, and you are not your thoughts. Because if you were just your body, when your body went away, maybe I lose a hand or an arm in battle, or I have a tumor cut out, or a kidney removed, or I get a different organ donated from somebody. If I lost a part of my body, I would still be me. So I'm not my body. I'm not just my body. And I'm not my thoughts either, because then if my thoughts changed or my emotions changed, wouldn't I go with it? But I don't, because what you are is something bigger. And if you can notice the difference between the things that you think and the part of you that can watch the thinking, then you recognize that you are kind of magic, in the not cheesiest way that I can say it. You're kind of awesomely peaceful and connected to this deeper system, this biological giant earth system that we live in. You exchange air with everything around you. You exchange and consume sunlight and dust as you breathe, right? You are part of this larger system. So, hopefully, if you practice yoga, it's helping you connect to that accurate, vibrant sense of self that is bigger than just the shape or a moment in time. And if you have questions, reach out, because I'd love to chat about it. But that's what I think yoga is really all about.